Hello and welcome here in ProdualPod. My name is Antti and I'm a product manager here in Produal. Today I'm here with my colleague
Tomas and I'm a product manager for room controllers at Produal.
Our plan was to a little bit discuss about automation and the trends that are now affecting our industry. Let's start from your side. Thomas, you are a product manager for the control units.
Yes, I am.
So how you see what is happening currently, where the demands are going? There is lots of happening in the EU level, and they are making new laws and that are affecting to the controlling of the buildings. So how you see it?
Yes, that is true. Lots have happened in the last years. Some countries, for example, have demand for CO2 measurements in the building when they are making new buildings. And trends are changing all the time, and how we make our controllers in the future, and will very much point us in the direction where we want to go.
Yeah, you mentioned CO2 is coming also to the controllers. Usually, or back in the days, it was more like we had a temperature or these kind of measurements, but yes. CO2 is now putting its head up in those.
Yeah, in almost all projects there is demand for CO2 control, also to control the VAV and the fresh air.
And it's something that we can see only in the Nordics, or is it something that we can see all over in Europe now?
We can say Nordic is the leading part of this new trends coming, but we also see other countries coming after also. They following our trends.
Okay, yeah. I think example in Produal, there start to be quite many of the products that has an integrated CO2 measurement.
Yes, one basic idea behind this is the installer don't want to put many items or devices on the wall. They want to keep it compact and get as much functionalities in one device. I have seen examples of former projects where they maybe have 4 different boxes on the wall to have these different measurements. It could be humidity, CO2, temperature, and all in separate devices.
Yeah. I have seen those pictures of lots of devices on the wall. So the trend might be a little bit get rid of all of those different boxes in the wall and have everything in the one device.
Yeah, it's an architect's dream to have nice clean wall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something that fits the architectural.
And I think
style.
For the user, it's also something nicer to have, that you can control everything from one box, and you don't need to hustle with so many different devices.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And also the user interface is very important for the end user.
Yeah.
And that is also has been maybe not a problem, but if you have 100 people will have different thoughts about how to control the temperature in the room. You can have different answers from each one.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's quite difficult to make an intuitive user interface.
I think there is lots of room controllers in the market, and one trend has been that touch displays, a touch screen has put its heads up, meaning that customers and the designers are asking more and more to have a graphical displays and these kind of, versus older where just the push buttons.
Yes, it's coming more and more. Okay, it adds to the product price, but that is maybe not an issue anymore when you go from a cheaper room solution from thermostats, for example, to a more modernized user interface. And we will probably see much more of these friendly touch interfaces coming in the future from all different players in the market.
Yeah, and I think what is affecting also the market is, or the pricing, is that the display prices are going down all the time. So maybe in some years from here we can see that almost every new controllers are with the touch display.
And you also get more features inside the microcontroller today with the integrated wireless solutions, for example, and these kind of things. And
so if we go back 10 years from here, it was totally different situation. There was microcontrollers where they didn't have functions and features what we now have. And
the solutions were much simpler. It
Yeah.
could be a little bit complicated from time to time, but we see the complexity increasing every day.
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
and the demands.
But still, if we think about like very basic products, like for example from the Produal offering, HLH44, it still has its place in the market.
Yes, HLS44 is our best-selling room controller, and it packs a lot of features in a small format, and it's what the users are needed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very price-effective, low price point, and it's deliver all the function features that the customer can even imagine.
Yeah. One thing that about HLS44, the design is getting a little bit old, but we are working on that to improve.
Yeah, that's very nice to hear.
Yeah.
And I think like there has been lots of work done with the HLH in the years.
Yes, we actually updated the software to improve the functionality so we can cover more applications with one solution instead of having many different versions of HLS.
So you mean this new HLH44 SE?
Yes, exactly, that one.
Yeah. So we were able to pack multiple products into one product. And
yes, exactly. Now we can, that we couldn't do in the old HLS, what was to change the fan speed settings, what voltage level each fan speed setting means. We have the 6-way valve control. We have a push button to force VAV outputs.
Sounds very nice, and I think like what we have learned with those HLH projects, HLH44 devices, is that we can bring that knowledge also to the new products and making even better touch display, modern touch display products.
Yeah, well, much things coming in the future that is very exciting, and it's based on our old systems with all the information in input we get from customers and sales.
Yeah, exactly.
Always improving.
So we could say that we have the function and features, but we are putting those in the modern platforms, having a little bit more power in the microprocessor level
and a more modern package.
Yeah. So it will be quite interesting in future when we will have controllers pack all those functions together. We have a touch display, powerful microcontroller, and then lots of measurements from temperature to CO2 and these kind of like.
Yes, and also very intuitive user interface where you could maybe select for the end user what he want to see.
Yeah,
to not pack it full of things because it can be quite overwhelming when you have a display full of icons and function. The end user would not know what to press to do certain functions.
Yeah, so it need to be intuitive.
People are so used to using the telephone today.
Yeah, exactly.
With the touch interfaces, and they can navigate and download applications, and it's kind of second nature for everyone today to use the touch interface.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's something people start to like born the phone in their hand, so it starts.
We all
to
have
like
kids, and you know how much they sit.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good that they use the phone, not playing all time with the controllers on the wall.
Oh, maybe we should have some control lessons for our children.
Angry Birds in our new controllers, maybe.
Yeah, would probably be nice.
Yeah,
hidden features.
Yeah, exactly. So. But like said, the controllers are evolving, and lots of is happening in the industry. But one thing is that there is lots of discussions, and one hot topic is that the cloud is coming. Like the control is going to the cloud. But what is your feelings like? Is it really going to the cloud? I mean,
well, the cloud is very exciting. We can collect data. When we have enough data, we can do analysis with AI today. We see that more and more, and we don't know what will come out of this. It's maybe not Prodal that is making the AI or these kind of calculations, but it will happen somewhere else on the building management owner or something like that. And well, at the end, we still need hardware on the site.
Exactly.
Controlling, open and closing the actuators, or open the VAV or whatever.
So we could say like the smartness of the cloud is like AIs and those are there, but then you always need to have a local control, like I/O units, like you were saying, like controlling VAVs, heating, cooling, everything like that. But in the same time, or this is my feeling that if there is some kind of cutoff of the connection from the cloud, there is always some kind of need for local controlling for
yes,
for
you
this
need
kind of,
to have the redundancy of so the building won't freeze up in the pipes or whatever if there is any problems. So, well, it would be maybe a dream to have just all the control functions in the cloud, but at the end we need the hardware out in the building.
And I think this is just my opinion, but it might be a little bit challenging if we think about that. The PID control would be in the cloud, and then that would be all the time trying to control the devices on the field. Or
from a product manager point of view, it will be great if you can program features in the cloud to update, to have new functionalities in field very easily. That would be something, absolutely. But I think, it could happen in some ways, but I think this logic will be still in the hardware in the field.
But we could say maybe like this will be combination of combination of new modern technologies in the cloud, modern things, and then the local.
Maybe the building intelligence is in the cloud. Then we have the hardware control in the field.
Exactly. And I think this is something that we have seen already happening, that we are talking about lots of like open APIs that different systems can discuss with each other. And one of my colleagues was highlighting that he's traveling a lot. And he has a dream that every time when he goes in the hotel room would know what is his favorite temperature. So if he always put it like 20 degrees, 21 degrees, when he goes there, it should be optimized for him.
Yeah, then this is a perfect example where the cloud can, or some kind of logic or intelligence in the cloud. It's hard to put all these features inside a small control box in field to know when you're close by, or then it's much better to use these cloud-based services that we have available today already.
So we can think about that when you are doing book. But I think like these same things can bring, or we can bring these same things also to the office environment. Like if we think about if you in hotel room you could select your favorite temperature, but how about if we bring that also to the office?
Yes, the same systems controlling the hotel can be used in the office area. It's similar features that is needed.
Exactly. So if we think about like we could make like a different kind of temperature zones in the open offices. Now of course like people doesn't have their own office rooms anymore, but they are spread all over the open office, and different people have different kind of feeling about the temperatures. So they might want to work where it's a little bit colder or a little bit warmer. So that might be one thing.
Yeah, and the office spaces are built in that way. You have general equipment, so you can connect your computer to whatever desk you are moving to. So and these can maybe be colorized or named different zones.
Exactly.
And this zone is more comfortable for me today, so I will work here.
So when you are coming at the morning to the office, you can check, hey, okay, this is the cold area, I will go here, or next day I want to be in the little bit hotter area, or something like that. And also like how much we are pushing air from or how much air is going, or you can also see if there is some, say, this kind of ahu pipe where the air is flowing.
And that is quite critical part to get the fresh air in where the people are, and that our system will take care of automatically if it's configured that way. So it can be totally automatic and compensate for more or less people. Of course, like when we are now talking about like comfort of the people in the office, and also it includes many other places like offices, but one very hot topic has been the energy crisis what we have now. And
it is affecting of how we are consuming energy, or how we should consume energy. And
everyone needs to save something somewhere.
Exactly.
And, both home and at the office or at the hotel. I think everyone needs to do what they can.
Energy consumption in the buildings are quite high also. Of course, if we can optimize of that, we can save the energy. But then what we are a little bit lacking is the comfort for the people. But
I think when we create new buildings in the future, we will have different demands, stressing out these kind of topics to make them both comfortable and conserve energy.
And what we are seeing already is that we are seeing like temperatures are going very cold to very hot, and especially like here in Nordics.
Yes,
it's
that's
very
changed over the years, absolutely, and we maybe have more cooling demands over a longer period of the year.
So in future it's not anymore like just heating, it's also cooling, and of course both of those are consuming energy.
Absolutely.
So and having very like reliable and good quality controllers is in a big part of when we are saving energy.
Yes, absolutely, and the system behind the controllers also need to be very effective. So all system works together to get to this critical point where we can save energy.
Exactly, and like mentioned earlier, like systems need to discuss with each other. And,
a little bit more open than every manufacturer have their own protocol or own ideas. It would be nice to have some common ground. Then I think the cloud is a way to unify everything a little bit better.
Exactly, and from that point of view, like when we are trying to achieve energy savings, we need to fight together, not so that everybody is doing their own closed systems and sharing information, because information and data sharing is in a big part when we are doing like energy saving.
I know a lot of people today maybe don't understand really what we can do with this data, what's the point of collecting everything, but I think at the end we will come up with ways we can utilize the data to make more optimized buildings and more comfort and save a lot of more energy.
Exactly. And I think like this is when we can learn from the data. It's very important because then we can do better buildings. But one thing is that we were discussing about the energy savings, and usually of how the energy savings is done, you turn off something, you turn off air handling unit heating, or try to drop down the temperature of the room. But unfortunately, like here in Finland, it's quite common that especially in schools and these like public buildings, the way of saving energy is turn off stuff for the weekend.
It's nothing middle in the between.
Exactly. So they go with the quite rough way. So they just turn off air handling units, and what is usually happening is that then the air is not flowing. There start to maybe become humidity, mold, or something like that. I mean,
and the performance and the health of the people inside the building will be affected if they do this and don't understand how it can affect in the long run. So it's not a good thing.
You need to understand the building and how it works, because like now you save €1, but what will be the cost in when you're turning off systems and you start to ruin buildings? You need to understand what you're doing, and that's very important. And I think like modern building automation has a very important part here, because it should be done based on the information, not based on the hunch that now I turn this off, now I save €10, but the final cost tag for that turn off might be tens of thousands of euros, because you have done something that has ruined part of the building.
And in this case, AI could probably, or data mining, or how to call it, could check the performance of the buildings. We have the maybe humidity data, we have temperature data, CO2 levels, and maybe can identify risk earlier.
Yeah,
That,
exactly.
hey, we have had this condition for a while now, and the building could be affected in a negative way. So warn the operator of the building to make some actions.
So we can, or the system should be able to warn the owners and the building operators that
could
hey,
be possible.
what you have now done is totally wrong. And I remember when I was working in building automation field, there was quite often some kind of like note inside of the automation for the maintenance guys. Please don't touch the like this heating curve, or don't touch this and this and this. And I think like what has been the challenge for the building is that there might be some maintenance guy who don't know what he's doing. I mean,
could be, yeah, of course.
So the system should be operated by very professional people, I would say.
Yeah, you need to have the proper skill set to fine tune a building and perform optimally. And you need to have log data to make the correct decisions.
And one thing to hear is that I mean, to get that people to understand what they are doing is teaching the maintenance people and I mean, teaching people of how you should maintain properly the buildings.
And in the future we maybe see these kind of educations is streamlined more for how to reach an optimal building control.
Exactly.
Like this. There are probably this already for these kind of educations, but I think they could change a little bit in the future also.
Yeah, exactly. And sharing information is also one big point here, that people or the people who are operating and working with these products, they should know also what they are doing, because each building is a little bit different. And
and it's always nice feedback for us to maybe have contact with these building operators and discuss some topics around this and what they feel about the future of the products. And
exactly.
I think from all different areas we can find bits and pieces that adds to the whole picture.
Yeah, exactly. And like here in Produal, we are bringing products for the customers for their needs. And of course, like to fulfill those needs, we have always discussions with the customers that what you want to have. And one thing what I have seen is these multi-sensor products where they want to collect lots of different kind of data like movement, humidity, temperature, CO2, and that's important information.
Yeah, this demand come from big players in the field of building management and owners.
Yeah, exactly.
And they need this data. They know these ideas very well and how they can perform and optimize the buildings, and also the cost levels of the building and running the building.
Each of those measurements is affecting to different areas. Like if we think about, like you have a multi-sensor that has a movement, we know that there is a movement. Some people are in on the space. CO2, we know that CO2 is produced by the people, so we need to ventilate temperature, humidity. All of these are affecting a little bit different parts of the control.
Yes, even if you wouldn't have any sensor detecting people, we can always use CO2 data to know if there is people in the room.
Exactly. I have seen like there was in one point VOC sensors was used for that, but maybe the challenge, for example, the VOC is that it doesn't recognize people. The VOC levels can peak if there is somebody cleaning table or something like that. But the CO2 is produced by the people only.
That's true.
Or that type of CO2 that we can measure. That's interesting. But I mean, we were discussing about these controls and new buildings, and I think like what is now putting its heads up is the renovations. What I mean is that we have built a lot of new buildings, but now the economics start to go a little bit decline, and but in the same time we should save energy in existing buildings. So how you see example like wireless or these type of things? I mean, I think those will come
Yes, wireless is also more and more demanded from building owners to have measure the temperature on different points in the whole building. And when then our wireless mesh system comes very handy in those cases.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, if we think about, we have a huge work in future to renovate all of the buildings for the level that we can optimize the energy consumption, and I think the wireless will be one big key player there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are buildings with systems that is maybe 15, 20 years old that's still running on the kind of old ways.
Yeah, exactly. And
there is much to do.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like one important thing is that when we are investing to the renovations of the building, I think those products and systems should be so that they will last many years, 15 years, 20 years. I mean, I think like in Produal, what we have take, one very big topic now is the sustainability. Like, and one part of the sustainability is that the products can last more than 5 years. And
absolutely, yeah. And that's usually no problem for our products. And
exactly.
15, 20 years is very common.
Yeah.
You can get some products back sometimes to for a change, for a newer product that had been sitting a really long time. It still functions, but
exactly. I have seen, like, I was visiting in old castle on my summer vacation, and I was seeing a Produal humidity transmitter from 90s. So it's over 22 years old.
Still producing data.
Exactly. So I think like those kind of things is important, because when we are trying to achieve the sustainability, it's not good that if we are using like transmitters that are throwing the trash after the battery has
absolutely, like you see in these electronic stores for for everyone. It's very cheap, and it works with the battery for 1 year, then you need to replace it, and maybe you throw it away, and it's not very good and healthy for the environment. And it's better to create things with good quality components. It costs a little bit more, but is adapted for industrial environment, or how to say, to last long.
Exactly. And I think like what I'm seeing here, what we are doing is that we are putting a lot of effort to make a product that can be updated. Example, you can push the firmware update to the product, and I mean, it might sound like for somebody it's for fixing big bugs or something like that, but no, I think there is also like software is evolving, and we can bring better and newer functional features to existing products.
And here I think, for example, our tool, all our tools for our products to handle the configurations has had a huge update with Produal My tool.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes life easier for everyone. And for example, we have HLS44, and each version of HLS44 have its own specific tool. And many other products follow the same principle. And it's a real hassle sometimes for the customer. Hey, what tool do I need to have to this building today?
Exactly.
So now we solve that problem with My tool, and all new products in Produal will be My tool based.
Yeah, exactly. Like all the new coming products will have the My tool support. And I think that will be helpful for the customer also. Like they will have one tool that they can use.
Exactly, one user interface, one tool, and then they can use their normal phone, or in the future laptop.
Exactly. So that's also like a little bit making installers' life easier.
Yes. There's been very much questions about My tool and iPhone support, PC support, but it's something we are working on behind. It's not a quick thing to do. But
I think like what is the challenge of the building automation industry is that it's sometimes a little bit old-fashioned. I can see it like when there is a new things coming, those are not adapted to the building automation business easily. We are looking like quite many years. Is this good or not? I mean, one good example might be like a backnet. I mean, BACnet is already from 90s.
Yes, and also Modbus.
Exactly, Modbus start to be from 70s or something. And like in our handling unit controls, it's funny that you mentioned Modbus. I mean, still, most of the air handling units are using 0 to 10 volts messages for the controlling or measuring what is happening, but not the Modbus.
Yeah.
And the same thing a little bit with the BACnet. I mean, we have a BACnet product,
Yes. Yeah.
but still, like, or this is my feeling, like in Nordic countries, it hasn't hit.
No, BACnet has some customers that love BACnet, and it has its role in the Nordic countries, but it hasn't pushed as much as Modbus.
Yeah.
Modbus is increasing every time, even that the protocol is so old.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing. Like, I mean, if we think about from when you're adding devices, example, the Modbus is a little bit not so modern, where the BACnet is a smart bus, but still like it's not something that the customers are screaming to have.
No, not really. I know maybe, for example, Germany exclusively maybe BACnet much more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Of course, like what we have also seen is that BACnet in the IP level is quite nice to have. I mean, it's nice, but when you go on BACnet MSTP,
you get a little bit problems. You need to have higher communication speeds, higher payloads, and these kind of things, and it can create a little bit problems. But for IP, it's generally no problem at all.
Yeah, exactly. And if we think about like BACnet, Modbus, those has been quite main protocols, and we have seen some protocols like a LON.
Yes, I was at that part in the 90s when I think beginning of 2000 when LON works were coming to the market, and we adapted some products to work with LON works.
And now you don't see anywhere. I mean, if you see it, it's something that system that is now rip off or something like that.
It could be, something like that. Yeah, it was quite expensive to handle all these tools and transceivers with licenses and everything. It was, I think it was a hassle. When it worked very well. You have double communication both ways, and it was good when it was installed.
Exactly.
But it was a hassle to get there, I think.
But it also brings me some thinking about the building automation level in different countries. Because if we take example France, I have seen that they are using a lot of LoRaWAN products in their country for the building automation. The same thing is not happening here in Nordics on that same level, I would say.
No, we have the infrastructure, I think, around LoRaWAN, but this hasn't affected our business area too much yet. But it's maybe coming more and more. I'm not sure where the future is heading there.
Yeah. Is it something, I mean, if you look like a control, you know the controllers is like your favorite child, and you know that area quite well. I mean, if we look like controllers in the France example or in Europe, it's a little bit different demands what they have there in
Yeah, Southern Europe have a quite different way of controlling things, and is, how to say, maybe a little bit less advanced. And also 230 volt is quite common, and in the Nordic countries we are very used to the 24 volt. You can have kind of any installer installing this, but meanwhile with 230 volt you will need to have licensed installers, for example. And and in Southern Europe it's more changeover systems where you change in the behavior summer and winter time of the products. So we have this in our products also, switching from winter to summer mode.
But this is not maybe something that we are using in Nordics. Like
no, not
it's
at all.
Like a specific thing for them. I think like similarities is like if we look like air handling units. We have a freeze protection system here in Nordic, but you don't usually need that kind of in the Europe. So there is
lucky.
Exactly. We are forced to have those so that we don't break our ahus.
But also in the southern part, it can be many different temperature zones during the day. It can be very cold at the night and morning time, and in the daytime it's very hot outside. So the system needs to react and change depending on the climate outside and what time of the day it is.
So this makes also a little bit challenging from the product management and product perspective to handle all of these markets. I mean, we have a Nordic market, we have a European, I mean, Asia, USA. I mean, lots of different markets with different needs. So it's so that maybe one product doesn't fit all the markets.
No, it's quite hard to make one product that covers all markets.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If you look at the Nordic countries, we are quite ahead with the technology level used in buildings today, and Southern Europe is maybe lagging behind a little bit, or many years in some places, but they are catching up also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I heard latest that Italy also is a little bit focused on the LoRaWAN. So it's quite interesting that they want to invest in this technology.
Yeah, and I think that's like also something like how I would say, something that they can deliver and understand the advances of what they will get with that, because they don't have like a heritage of the big building automation systems in the buildings. So they have a little bit like a skip one phase and now are going directly to this IoT world.
Yeah, from unconnected products to cloud connected, for example. And we have the connection and the correct products if they take in that step. So that is very good.
That's very good from that. I mean, we were discussing about this like different needs in different countries, and if we look like in overall the automation in different countries, I mean, if we take like normal office building from Finland or Sweden, I think those are quite full of automation, like controllers, measurements, lots of stuff. And then when we go like in some other countries, the way of, let's say, changing the air is open the window.
Yeah, it could be that simple.
So it's a quite big difference. And,
but the bad thing about maybe open the window to let the fresh air in is in big cities where it's quite polluted.
Yeah, exactly.
And where you don't have a ventilation system taking care of the filtering of the air. And
I mean, that's quite good that you highlight that part, because example like what is the latest product in the Produal portfolio is we have a small particle transmitters.
Yes, we have this Zero system.
Zero series,
that's new on the market.
Yes.
Yeah. Where it's a PM 2.5,
yes.
And I think it incorporates several different.
Yeah, we have a PM1 and PM10 also there. And I think like in very polluted environments, like in cities, it's important that you can also see that is the air filtered properly that is coming inside of the building. And it's of course it's a little bit concerning that you should use your time inside of the building so that there is a better air than in the outside.
Yes.
So that's but of course this is the situation in big cities what we are seeing now.
I think it will improve with the technology catching up and this system taking care of this pollution more to make a more healthy environment indoors.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean healthy environment or healthy buildings, the one way to achieve those is to add more technology there and measure
and be sure.
And exactly. So this is what we are delivering to our customers.
Yeah, we have the whole range of products that could work with this kind of systems.
Exactly. Yeah, and we have discussed a lot of like controllers and wireless and these kind of topics here, trying to a little bit get overall picture of what we have here. And I mean, of course, like new wireless is coming, or we have a new wireless products and new are coming all the time, but it doesn't take away that fact that still like a basic measurements like CO2 without any controls and these cabled measurements, those are very important part of the building automation and business of Produal, I would say.
Yes, it will stay for many years.
Yeah. And relating to those, I think like one example, air pressure. What we are now seeing a lot is that relating a little bit those to keep buildings more healthy is to keep a certain pressure differential level on the buildings.
Passive houses have become quite popular. That you have almost a airtight zone between outside and inside,
Exactly.
and you can control the climate.
And there you need to have very accurate measurement to keep that pressure differential between inside and outside. So you a little bit need to be
system always compensating for
exactly.
the losses, kind of.
Yeah, so those are not going anywhere, and I think like that will put its head up more and more in future. That the accuracy of the measurement is very important part of the like a project, because if we think about, let's say, temperature measurement, of course, like 0.1, 0.2 degrees doesn't matter so much.
No.
But if there is a let's say 1 degrees error in the measurement,
that can be a lot of money going to waste, actually. So
exactly.
that's important to be in as short span as possible with accuracies, and also for the energy saving part. So, well, and it's a demand and a challenge also to keep these low accuracies.
And I think this same concern like a pressure, when we are keeping pressure differential in the building. But example, if I take a CO2, I mean, usually I have seen that some demands that, hey, there should be accuracy of 20 ppm or something like that. I understand, of course, that they want most accurate measurement, but in the big picture, we are talking about usually level of couple hundred ppms that start to matter.
Absolutely, and we have quite a large span where it goes from how to say, very healthy environment to when it gets a little bit problematic for the people in the building.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big span.
Yeah, exactly. Like normally it a little bit depends, but we are saying that the OK air is from 400 to 700-800 and 800 to 1,200 maybe is the average, and over that is not so good. So
absolutely. And we have the traffic lights on our products also to indicate these different levels. When they go from green to orange to red.
Yeah, exactly. To also indicate for the end user of what is the air quality.
In that case, we don't talk about 20 ppm.
Yeah, exactly.
More higher jumps in the ppm levels.
Yeah. But I mean, that's one very interesting area of the measurements and the accuracies and what is coming in the future. So we have covered quite many of topics here now. I mean, we have discussed from controllers to energy saving, hotel rooms, temperatures, office buildings, wireless transmitters. I mean, a lot of topics is around in the building automation, and lots of things is happening all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And I think like what our discussion today was more like to have an overview, sneak peek of what is happening, and there is lots of quite interesting things in the building automation and the measurements and control.
It would be maybe nice to, in some later episode, to dig deeper into one specific topic.
Exactly, definitely. I would say like there would be very interesting to take one episode and just look on the controllers or the wireless and what is happening on those areas.
Absolutely.
Today I think we don't have time for cover all of those, or otherwise this will last 5-6 hours our discussion here.
And we maybe can bring some product examples, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And of
viewers.
course we have a lot of professional people in the Produal, so we can take other guests here with us, so that would be very interesting.
Very nice.
Good. Hey, Tomas, it was very nice to have you here, and I hope we will see in the upcoming episodes of this Produal pod.
Yeah, thank you very much, Antti. It was very nice to be here. It was interesting discussions we had.
Yeah, thanks. And I think for everybody on the other side of the camera, we will see in upcoming episode of Produal pod.